Hi everyone, this is a course on running the large language models locally on the system. We have gone through the process of installing LLaMA on the OS X. So we downloaded Ollama from the website https://ollama.com. We gave permissions to install Ollama on our systems, and after that we moved the Ollama to the applications folder. We were able to check it has been installed on the system or not by checking the Ollama icon on the status bar. So we will continue from this point and run Ollama on the CLI. For this, we have to run Ollama on the terminal or on the iTerm. So the application name, of course, is Ollama. We can check the various help commands by running the help. As you can see, there are different commands like the run to run a model, stop to stop a running model, pull to pull a new model from the registry, and if you have made some changes, you can push a model to a registry. List runs all the models on the system, and PS gives the list of the running models on the systems. With CP command, you are able to copy a model to a different name, and of course we can make a change and then we can push the model to the registry. RM removes the model, and we have also seen the help command over here that it gives a help of the Ollama application. Now let's go back to the website Ollama, and we can select different models. As you can see, there are different tags, and you can select the models based on these tags. You can also select the models based on the popularity or if the model is the newest one. In this case, let's go with the most popular one, and we can see there are different models: Qwen, DeepSeek, LLaMA 3.3, 3.2. Let's start with LLaMA 3.2. We can see there are different sizes for the models. The one with the 3 billion parameters is 2 gigabytes in size. One with the 1 billion parameters is 1.3 GB. Let's start with the one which is the latest one and pick it up from over here. We can pick up this command, Ollama run. Now the difference between Ollama run and Ollama pull is that Ollama run will pull the model and then it will run it. So we will see by running this command that it is pulling the model, and after that it is going to be executing the model. Once the model is executed, we'll be able to give different commands and ask different questions to the model, and all this is going to be happening locally on your system. There is no interaction with the cloud. All your data is safe on the system, and all the communication and context also is maintained on the system. In this case, we can ask a question. Let's say ask, what is the best city to live on Earth? So let's say we ask this question, and the model has given the answers. In this case, it is selecting Zurich, Switzerland as the number one city based on the work-life balance and the leisure activities. We can always exit it by running by command. Let's do one more thing. Let's open another terminal and run Ollama PS. In this case, it is showing that the LLaMA 3.2 model is running, and it is running 100% on the GPU, and it is of size 4 gigabytes, and it also is giving the ID for the model. Let's exit this model with the by command, and that is one of the commands to exit this Ollama CLI. We run it again, and we can still see the model is still running, and we can communicate with through the REST API or through writing the Python code, of course, which also will be interacting through to the different REST API through the library. Now let's go back to the Ollama website and select any different model. Let's say we want to select the model for the coding. Okay, so let's say we want to select code LLaMA. In this case, we are going to run with the pull command rather than running it with the command to run the model directory. So I'm going to copy this command, come back to the terminal. So we are going to paste it, of course, and instead of running the model directory, I'm going to pull the model, and it is going to pull this particular model, and we will be able to see that this model is in the list of models, but it is not running it right now after pulling it. As we are going through this, let's run it Ollama ls to see the list of the models. Currently, the model is the one which we downloaded, which is LLaMA 3.2 latest. And we come back to the first terminal, and we can see it is still downloading. After the download, we will be able to see this model also as part of the list of the models we have locally on our system. Again, the communication with these models is all local to the system, and that is one of the biggest advantages of running the models locally. So in this case, we can see we have two models. One is LLaMA, and other one is LLaMA 3.2. But if I see the model which is running, which is with the ps command, we'll see only one of the models is running. Now let's say we want to do some coding task on it, and we want to run the LLaMA to do some kind of a coding query, questions, communication with the model. Okay, so we will run this model Ollama run, and we will give the model name. In this case, it is going to start the model, and we are going to ask a question to the model. At this point, since we already have other model running, if we see that we can remove the model, we can stop the model first, and if you want, if you can remove it from the disk as well. So we are going to say Ollama stop this currently running LLaMA 3. Model. Once we have stopped this model, if we run this command Ollama ps, now we'll see only LLaMA is running, and that will also make the GPU free for running this model. That's why we stopped the LLaMA 3.2 model. Now the model, we are back onto the first terminal where we ran LLaMA run LLaMA latest. We are going to run a command now to ask, give me the binary search code in C++. So this is executing locally and giving the binary search code locally on the system. We can further ask any questions or ask the model to make some changes, but in this case, I'm just going to exit over here. We can see that this model is still running. We can stop the model with the command running the model stop, Ollama stop, and now we do not have any of the models running. And we can go back to the help, and we can look into other commands like LLaMA CP. So let's look into this command LLaMA help LLaMA ls, and we can see we have a model. There are two models. So let's copy this model to a different name. So we'll say LLaMA CP, and we can copy this model, and let's copy to the model with, let's say, my name. Okay, Pankaj. And it has copied now model to Pankaj. If we run a list command, we will see there are three models that are present on our system, and we can run this model now. Now let's run this model, LLaMA run the model which we just created. We can give different commands over here to communicate with the model. For example, we could give it the command to set a variable to look at the information about the running model. For example, we can say show info, and it is going to give all the model information. What is the architecture for the model? How many parameters are there? Context length, embedding length, quantization, and other parameters it is going to provide to us. We can also look at what kind of license the model has, and it provides the information about the license for the model. Once again, the /help command can provide different other informations. We can also set the different parameters over here, and you could see, for example, you could set the system prompt, and here we could say you are a joke master, let's say, which gives answers in as a joke. So that is a system prompt that we have set now. Now, if we ask any question, who's a student? So it is giving the answer in a joke format. So as you could see, we can set different parameters, and we can communicate with the models in a different way. We can also set, for example, set verbose commands if we want to get detailed statistics, and that way we will be able to get more information. So if you want to set the same commands, you will see it will give how much duration it took to execute, what was the load duration, and how many tokens were used. So all those information will be provided when the verbose mode is on. So we can set it back with quiet mode, and now if we execute the command again, we will not get the same information back again. We can also execute that command to give it in, let's say, the format JSON, so that the same question when we ask, so it is going to provide in the JSON format. Right now it gave empty, so we can ask some questions, so it will provide in the JSON format. So we can all basically give different commands. So this was just to give you an overview of how to run Ollama CLI on the system, and the similar approach is there on the Windows. The CLI is the same, installation is a bit different, which I will be covering in another video. Thank you for watching.